The phone vibrated at 3:07 a.m. Not a ring, a vibration, the kind reserved for emergencies that no one wants to admit out loud. I was already awake. I had been awake since dinner, since my wife's father leaned back in his chair, smiling the way men do when they think gratitude is a discipline you can teach. "Appreciate the gesture," he'd said. $4,500. After 14 years, after building the system they couldn't replace. The message on my phone was a single line from our CTO: "We're under attack." I stared at the ceiling, listened to my wife breathe beside me, counted the seconds between each inhale like they were ticks on a detonator. I knew where the weaknesses were. I'd designed them before I closed them. I'd documented everything. I'd warned them what would happen if the wrong hands got access. My junior coworker, 26, loud, reckless, had been given $42,000 to stay. I'd trained him. He'd laughed when he told me. I didn't move, didn't respond. At 3:19 a.m., the second message arrived. "They're inside everything." I closed my eyes and waited for morning. By sunrise, the company was hemorrhaging beta and pretending it wasn't bleeding. Executives spoke in soft voices, lawyers circled, blame hovered like humidity. I sat at my desk, calm, too calm. My wife texted me around 10. "Dad says these things happen for a reason." I read it twice, then once more, slower. That's when it surfaced, the thing I'd been refusing to name, the pattern. The bonus conversation hadn't been about money. It never is. It was about worth, about who mattered enough to keep. My father-in-law had pushed for my coworker, golf buddies talk, family loyalty as a currency. I remembered the way my wife had gone quiet when the bonuses were announced, how she didn't meet my eyes, how she defended him. "You're stable, he's a risk." Risk. That word followed me everywhere. The attack wasn't random. It was precise, too precise. And the worst part wasn't the breach, it was the certainty settling in my chest that I had been surrounded by people who smiled while counting my replacement. I didn't confront anyone. I never do. I observed. I watched how my coworker avoided my eyes, how his hands shook when compliance asked him questions, how my wife deleted messages when I entered a room. At night, I traced timelines in my head. Dinner conversations, calendar gaps, access logs that didn't belong to him, until they did. I checked what I was allowed to check, then what I wasn't. Patterns don't lie, people do. The attack used credentials that had been temporarily shared, approved by someone with executive authority, someone who trusted him. I thought of my wife's father again, his voice, that smile. At home, my wife asked if I was okay. I told her I was tired. She touched my arm like she was testing a temperature. I let her. Inside, everything was tightening. Not rage, focus. I gathered emails, archived chats, time-stamped decisions. I didn't need proof of the hack. I needed proof of the betrayal that made it possible. And it was there, waiting, hidden in plain sight. The report arrived on a Thursday afternoon. Internal audit. Clean language, dirty conclusions. The breach traced back to a trusted exception, requested by my coworker, approved by my father-in-law's consulting firm, justified by retention urgency. I printed it, single copy. That night, I placed it on the kitchen table between my wife and me. No introduction, no accusation. She read it slowly. Her face collapsed in stages. "I didn't think," she started. "I know," I said. That's what hurt her the most. She cried, not loudly, carefully, like someone afraid of waking consequences. She admitted what I already knew, the affair, the lobbying, the promises made about my security. I listened, unmoved. When she finished, the house felt empty in a new way. I forwarded the report to the board the next morning, from my personal email, with my resignation attached. No threats, no demands. By noon, my coworker was escorted out. By evening, the consulting contract was terminated. By the end of the week, the breach was publicly attributed to internal misjudgment. My father-in-law called, left a voicemail. His voice shook. I didn't return it. I packed a bag, left the key handle on the counter, walked out while my wife was at work. Power isn't loud, it's absence. I took a contract overseas, different time zone, different name on the door. Sometimes I think about the bonus, about gestures, about what people believe you'll tolerate if they smile first. I don't feel anger anymore, just clarity. They needed me silent, they got silence, and it cost them everything they thought they owned.